been having this in the background for a while, just trying to figure out how I was going to review this, because technically this is like my first sitcom review, and I would have liked it to have been one of my favorites, but I mean, one of my favorite sitcoms that I was like genuinely reviewing first. But I think it's cool to go outside the box a little bit, and I want to talk about this recent sitcom with Tim Allen, the first season. I'm gonna be honest, I actually enjoyed it. I know a lot of people seem to look at Shifting Gears as like a Tim Allen staple, feel good, anti woke, whatever. I don't really feel as if it really leaned into it that much. Every now and then there was a joke where I was like, okay, I get it. But then there's sometimes when I'm watching that show and I'm just like, I enjoy this. I enjoy the blue collar like grit. I enjoy the setting. I enjoy the idea that the daughter and the dad just don't get along. But the whole thing that I think people fail to realize is that I think America really needs the sitcom right now. I think we're in a very unpredictable, very unsatisfying, very unloving society right now. And I think a feel good sitcom like this or Abbott Elementary are like the perfect shows that we need right now. And I think a lot of people just don't really see that yet. But what I think people need to give this show a chance. One, let's be honest. I've had a love for Tim Allen since I was a kid. I mean, he was Buzz Lightyear. He was Santa Claus. You know what I mean? He's Home Improvement. Didn't really like Last Man Standing that much, but I always had love for Tim Allen. Right? Like I don't think anyone else can voice Buzz Lightyear. You know what I mean? And I've loved Kat Dennings. You know what I'm saying? I love like Nick and Nora's Playlist, Thor, WandaVision. I remember when she was on this show with like Bob Saget, where he was her dad and Brie Larson was like her little sister. This was way in the early 2000s. Like I've loved Kat Dennings forever too, and it was just seemed like the perfect thing. I was like, we got Tim Allen, Kat Dennings, their father and daughter. She's a millennial. He's a Gen Z. It's Gen Z. He's a baby boomer, and they are very much at odds, or that's what it was sold, and I don't think that's really the case all the time. The first two episodes, yes. As the show goes on, they don't really bicker as much, but I love the emotional core. Tim Allen's wife died, I would say, like a year ago, and Kat Dennings divorced her husband. She doesn't really have a lot of money to her name. She needs to live with her dad again so she can get back on her feet. She brings her two kids with her. I like that setup. I like that setup a lot. And I do like that there's an emotional moment. And I think in the second episode, maybe in the first episode, where they talk about the mom passing away and they hug and they cry and they kind of let things kind of go. And I thought that was a great scene. I was like, that's kind of what we need in America right now. Like, we need something like that. We need to see that we can resolve our differences at some point in time. Now, I will say, as much as I love the two that I just mentioned, the selling point for this show for me was Sean William Scott and Jenna Elfman. Because, yes, I love both of them. I have been so sad that Jenna Elfman never like stayed consistent and stuff for years, because she is wonderful. And even in this show, she's wonderful. She's the very independent, boss bay, liberal woman who's dating a much older, stuck in her ways. Spoiler alert, her and Tim Allen end up dating on the show, and it honestly really works. Like the masculinity, emotional thing, where it's kind of like the masculinity kind of keeps you so stern and closed off, and you don't really open up, and she kind of helps him open up a bit. And I think that is like a very underseen or underappreciated aspect of their relationship that will come around when I do like a season two review. And he even starts to open up in season one with his daughter, his grandkids. He kind of learns new things. It's a good show. I don't think it's like one of the best sitcoms ever, but I do enjoy the themes of the show without being too ridiculous. People like Tim Allen, those toxic conservatives, it'd be usually like oh, he's masculine, he can only be masculine. But like, he's opening up. He's opening up throughout the show. He's very much, loved his wife. He thought she was the perfect woman. I know there is a mention of Kat Dennings having a brother in season one, and we don't see him throughout the entire season. So that's one thing we don't see the brother at all. And there's even some nice little emotional depth and conflict between Sean William Scott and Kat Dennings, because Riley, and I can never remember his name, but he's so great. I love Sean William Scott. and they have like a childhood, like they all grew up together. They work in they him and a friend of theirs work in the shop. They've been there for years. They've known Tim Allen's character since they were teenagers, maybe even small children. You find out there was a crush at one point. But oh, Gabe, that's his name, Gabe. Gabe had a crush on Riley for years, very long time. And there's some ringamaroo with that towards the end of the season. So all in all, I would say season one wasn't trying to like reinvent the sitcom or even reinvent television. It was just, I think it was a sitcom we very much need right now. I think people need that type of sitcom right now. Even if we don't think it yet, well, I think we're gonna look back on this and be like, this sitcom was needed at the time. It was. Especially if something, God forbid, would happen like Tim Allen. You know, he's almost he's going on like what 74 this year, 75. So he's up there. You know, but episode episode like it takes the first few episodes to kind of get going. Even though I personally like the first episode, the first few after that, they're good, they're fine. You kind of see Riley a few episodes in. I think that's in season one, where she's trying to like go out and date, and it's hard after not being on the market after a long time. She's got two kids. Obviously, she's a little older. She knows she was 16 years. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that kind of come into play. Obviously, there's cameos from like the Last Man Standing cast throughout the first season, and even I think the Home Improvement cast at some point too. So there's cameos that happen. I think this is people, were just really damping on shifting gears when it first came out. But I think the sitcom has kind of smoothened out. I will be doing a review on season two because I just finished that, and that's why I'm trying to like be reserved because season two actually is a lot more of what I just mentioned, but better. So I'm trying to like hold out. But I think people should give the sitcom a chance. If you don't like it, hey, look, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to say, oh, you suck. I'm not going to say, oh, it's fighting the message or whatever the assholes on the other side of YouTube talk about. But it is just a good, enjoyable time. I think I tend to like to watch it because I can at least laugh. They might bring up something crazy every now and then, but for the most part, it's a good show. So this wasn't gonna be super long, but yeah, I just want you guys to know that. Like the video, comment, let me know how you guys feel about the show down below. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys on the next one.